Okay, I'll call this meeting to order at 2 o'clock. And all three directors here.
I'll make a motion to adopt today's agenda.
I will second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes. Do we have any public comments? Don't keep going the agenda. You want to say anything? Public comment. Okay. Approval of minutes, March 10th. Minutes. The March 10th meeting minutes. Couple small edits, Katie. Add under on number 8B, add Jeff's last name shortly. And 9A, A1, make that months possessive, last months. And then it's like 9E1, Suzanne had her last name. Statements.
Astle. A-S-T-L-E. A-S-T-L-E. Okay.
Those.
I didn't have any comments.
Nope, all good.
Okay. Motion to pass the market meeting minutes, regular meeting minutes with the edits.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to pass the March 19th. Excuse me. I'll make a motion to pass the March 19th special meeting minutes.
I just have one.
Oh,
Number 3A. It should say between TVPRD and the city of Teton. Yeah. Oh. That's it.
I'll make a motion to approve the March 19th special meeting minutes as amended.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Disbursements. First disbursement, a cart keeping and consulting, $601. It's on that.
No comments for me.
Civics website, $9,860.
Oh, we need to figure it out.
There.
So I'm seeing a different amount on the invoice. 976920. I think it's just a typo on the minutes here, or the agenda, excuse me.
Oh, yep, it's 9-7 on there. It's 9-8.
And then I didn't look on the budget, John. Is this in accordance with what's been allocated? And do you know if the 60-month redesign standard, is that a one-time fee, or is that the type of subscription we're on where, it's like we bought a 5-year plan, so we're paying at a 5-year rate instead of a 1 year or something like that?
Yeah, that's the kind of the package we chose was the standard
Okay.
package there. Yes, so after 60 months, we can do a redesign
Got it.
with this package.
Okay.
And last was MSP law. $50.
Not for me, no.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Burkhart Bookkeeping Civic Plus and MSBT Law disbursements, correcting that Civic Plus will be $9,769.20.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, pass. It's by the report. Account statement. Gonna point anything out there, Katie, at all specific?
So the office of the Iowa State Treasurer, that was the money that we transferred over for investment. Joe provided our first month and it looks like we have accrued 718,000.
I just had one question about that, because reading over the minutes from that meeting, we had approved 1,050,000, and it looks like 1 million exactly was deposited. Some,
I don't know what happened. He was at that meeting too for the approval. I think it was the contract that you had signed and sent.
it didn't
That's-
have an amount on that one.
That's
that
what
I
I
signed.
sent all that over to her and that's when she made the transfer. So it was just.
Yeah, there wasn't a dollar amount on that paperwork I filled out. All I wrote on there was John's name as the
That's all I did was just,
executor, essentially.
once you guys filled that out, I sent it over to her after that meeting, so we could get the money.
Could you check with her and find out what the,
Yes,
And
I mean, if we accrue $718 in 1 week, at that balance, that's pretty nice. We'll be getting 2,500 a month on that.
any questions? Then, next on the agenda, item 6, matters through the directors. Friends Teton Valley Sports and Wellness, MOU. Got packet here. Actually, 2. I believe the first one is it's current. Asking Katie or what the second one is for. There were 2 on the email. So this contains the markups from Jeff Schroeder. Corrections. There was one. Forwarded it to Ray, Landon. See if they had any issue. You were fine with it except for section 2.2. Bullet 10 reads, there's an error in there, reads friends board members. And it's misworded. So I changed the wording. Suggested changing of the wording to friends board members may attend any meetings with TBPR on events and marketing standards.
So from Will to May,
What's that?
from Will to May. So,
Yeah.
see, that was done in a prior sentence, so.
Yep.
I've got it in front of me now. Can you repeat that?
Sure. The wording was kind of messed up there. Changed it. Friends board members may attend any meetings with TBPR efforts such as marketing. So,
Okay, got it.
did you capture those changes, Katie? I can send this to you too.
We have the GS edit, is that the one we're working on them?
Yes. Yep.
So that's, is it highlighted funding priorities? Yeah, under Article 2, Section 2.1, second bullet.
The district's fund priorities, dispatch fiscal year to help guide those.
It was highlighted, so.
It's highlighted on mine. GS edits. I mean, I'm in the Google Drive. Are you looking at it
I'm
on?
gonna Google Drive too,
Let me
because I
make sure I
couldn't
got the
see.
right.
That was the only one I could find from our previous meeting.
Fund priorities at the start.
So is it a wording issue with as far as priorities?
I don't know.
This was a while ago. I'm trying to recall the conversation
Yeah.
we had about that, and it was
Don't,
because
yeah,
it's not.
I don't see any issue with sharing. Fund priorities.
Yeah,
Should be.
and that was. And then down under last page, Article 5, termination. From 60 days changed to 30 days. Was that a Jeff comment? No, this
Oh,
is the one that.
You know, it's interesting. I'm seeing there's two copies. We have
Okay.
one within, we have one within this meeting's folder, and then we have the one that lives outside.
I just thought one. One that's on the agenda.
there's the two on that.
Pulled up the one that was in the previous meeting because I couldn't find
So
anything else.
let's see, board meeting. We've got
Yeah, we'll go with the board meeting.
GS.
Oh, so that's just one document. That, yeah, let's go back to that question you had when bulletizing the documents,
Yeah,
because you can't tell if that is just one document. It shows two documents there, GS edits, memorandum of understanding. Below it,
right.
Yeah, I was only downloading one.
yeah, it just downloads the first one to me.
Oh, no, okay.
So yeah, I just went back to the GS edits that we had from the previous meeting. So I don't think you went over this again, right?
No,
So yeah, it just looks slightly different. That one. And so I was wondering, like, is this in red where it says change to 30 days? Was that a Jeff comment or something from within? These comments are showing. I've had this problem with stuff from him where sometimes his edits show up and sometimes, or his comments show up and sometimes they don't. He did strike throughs on this one, so maybe that's why there aren't associated comments.
Katie, can you do this? Why don't
Which one are
we,
you looking
why
at?
don't-
Do you
why
see
don't-
what I'm seeing?
I'm looking
too?
at the one that's no longer highlighted. I just went to the one that was in this meeting's folder, which doesn't have that highlighted piece that I was seeing earlier. And it's showing a 60-day termination. And it has the strike through and the underline for the adding. So I think that's the most representative of Jeff's
Yeah. so
comments.
This should be the one that I sent you last Friday, Thursday, Katie, is that correct? Double check that. That's the most current.
Currently seen as GS edits, MOU, TVPR, and Friends, FT, VSW 2026, parentheses 3. No, I don't know if that's because I have too many, I've opened too many at one
Yeah,
time.
Yes.
Is that what that is? Okay. Yours says 3 too? Yeah.
I have 3, 6.
Technology. So we're disregarding any of the comments that were made prior to this?
Well, I just think that the general edits here are putting us in a more privileged position in terms of will. We're getting a lot of mays, giving us more discretion, sort of as needed, as available. I like all of these updates in terms of, I think, oh, I'm seeing a typo there on section 2.2. Maybe we should, yeah. So I'm in support of the comments or the revisions as written.
Yeah, that all seems.
Okay, and I got the right document. Okay, that's the document I sent you, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the one. So it's good. Okay. Ray or Sven, you put it all on this, any concerns you saw with edits and sent those to you earlier, the edits?
I'm comfortable with it. It's generally seem to be with them simple. Overall flow. It made sense to me.
Yeah. I think it lays it out pretty straightforward.
Okay, I just found one thing. Section 2.2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th bullet, starting with friends, board members will attend and
That's the one changed to may attend any meetings with.
great. Got it.
Good.
All right.
Motion to approve the memorandum of understanding Valley Parks and Recreation District and Friends of Down Valley Sports and Wellness with the suggested edits from, excuse me, Jeff Schroeder and a couple edits we made this afternoon.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Aye.
Any discussion?
Just, I know other districts are aligning with nonprofits. I'm gonna vote nay. I'm not sure this is the best course of action right now.
2 votes positive, 1 negative, motion passes. Next on the agenda, access easement. Lee Cobb. Like to give some background on this. Easements.
The one conversation.
Yeah.
I'm more interested about.
Yeah.
Grove Creek. Parking lot. Does not exist. There is no parking lot for Grove Creek. over the last 20 years or better, everybody has always parked on county road. And unloaded their horse trailer or their bicycle or dirt bike, gone up Grove. And that is, that is a, that is a flagrant issue in this county, but in multiple locations, but this particular location, I think is an opportunity to solve, have a solution there, and a meeting with John, discussing it, and I presently at the time I serve on TV tap as a board member there, and I'm a motor user, of course, but I conveniently know the landowner quite well. I have my entire life, and so I approached the Colburns. Used to be Kuntz's land, but Kristen Colburn, she works in the medical clinic. Some of you might know her from Victor. She's a PA. But she used to be a Kuntz, so it was her mom and dad's place. So I went over and talked to Colburns about it, and they were amendable and in agreement, verbal agreement to entertain some type of easement of sorts or parking lot of sorts to accommodate recreationists going up there, because there's also a corner lot owner that owns the corner between the highway and county road. Right in that corner, it's a little triangle piece. There's been a few confrontations there with recreationists and blocking his little driveway that goes into that corner piece and different things. And so really what we need to do is address this issue by developing an easement, a width or an area, creating an easement of sorts to accommodate recreation in that particular area. And we have that opportunity verbally with the Colburns to go into an agreement there. And correct me if I'm wrong, John, but you had relayed to me that your attorney has said that we can entertain some type of long lease.
Yeah, it said easement or lease, and he seemed to think lease might be a easier solution.
And honestly,
Long
that's actually what the Colburn family relayed to me that they'd be more interested in, is to have some type of a rental lease, some type of an agreement that would give them a little bit of money on a monthly basis or an annual basis or whatever it worked out to be. And they were more than happy to accommodate. And we identified the location, the area, and I indicated to them about roughly the area that would be compatible and workable to accommodate, certain quantity of individuals or weekenders or whatever that might, and get them off the county road. And that's really, like I say, it's a plaguing issue in this county, winter and summer. And so this particular situation, if we could come up with some type of agreement or some type of, I can reach out to them once again and let them express to them the interest that Parks and Rec has and / county has to go into an agreement or a rental or a lease agreement there with them and develop that and come up with a dollar amount. And then would that be amendable and be the next step, I'm assuming, to take it to that stage?
So this is the property, it's on the east side of the road there. So you'd cross the road and head up Grove Creek.
So when you're going up Darby, or not Darby, but going up Seacon,
Yep,
and you cross the river, and then right before you go around the big sweeping corner,
yep.
you get up on the little dirt road right there, and
Yep.
there's a little triangle piece right there.
Mhm.
But the house is just on the south side of
Mhm.
that corner.
Mhm.
And so what I'm talking about is creating an easement or an expanded developed area, parking on the left-hand side of that dirt road before you come to the T intersection
Okay.
that you have to go right or left.
Mhm.
And so it'd be in that inside corner on the
Mhm.
left-hand side.
And is the expectation that we're leasing the ground rights? But the cost of paving and signage or whatever, that's something that either the county or our district is footing the bill for.
No,
Well, that's
that's
additional
donated.
information.
You think that's going to be donated?
Yep.
Add, expand on it.
Donation to cover gravel, equipment, time, parking, development, compaction. They can asphalt it, I can tell you that, but
They're not going to asphalt it.
there's no point in asphalting it because it's adjacent to dirt road anyway.
Oh, shit.
So it'd be
Yeah.
obtuse in the
Yeah.
situation. So
Okay.
So would, I guess to expand on it, you're saying you would donate that, fine donation.
me personally, I would probably be involved to a degree, but yes, there already has been verbal commitment to develop that. And so it'd be no expense to the county, exception of the lease. But as far as the development portion of it, no expense.
You talked to Daryl at all about any issues with such to that at all?
I've actually talked to Daryl about that, and I actually tried to get him to abandon the whole
corner
north
road there.
the north portion of the road that goes on to a blind corner. You're actually looking over it at 65-degree angle over your shoulder to view traffic. And I said, just abandon that whole thing. And literally, because the road that I'm talking about discussing as you're headed west, facing west and come off the highway onto that particular road, that road actually comes almost at a T intersection on the asphalt there. And so it's a much safer intersection transitionally from asphalt to dirt. And I told the other far corner that is developed. I mean, that wasn't developed when I was a kid. That used to be, we could hit that at 60 miles an hour and catch air and pickups, but now it's more developed, but it's really pointless to have that particular section even there because it is a traffic safety issue.
I mean, you need a little access to get. There's a Bart Coons is there. Is
What I'm talking about is from Bart Kuntz's driveway
north. Abandon that
to the
part.
asphalt.
Yeah.
That would just be abandoned and turned back into dirt. Field, agricultural, whatever.
Historical context is when I worked for the county 10 years ago. Talking with Daryl and the former planning administrator, we were offering that triangle of land. The owner, we were like trying to buy that triangle of land because of that very issue. And he said no because a lot of his wellheads were on that triangle. But just to provide historical context, that's been a known issue by the county for a long time, that there needs to be parking for Grove and Drake.
Well, what's really sad is this is a historical issue. Sad fact that family members view land differently than the rest of the family. And that is a prime example of a situation where the Kuntz family was trying to acquire that land from the other family member, but there was issues, internal family relation issues. And so it got sold out from underneath the family, out of the family name, into the existing present owner. And he has zero interest in doing anything with it or allowing anybody to acquire or do anything with that, which is very sad because, like I said, families fighting over family land and money and blah, blah, blah. And I'll show you, I'll just sell it out from underneath us. That's pretty much what it turned into. So that's why the county probably never had an opportunity because I know that guy very well, actually. I grew up with him, but he had a bone to pick or an axe to grind with the rest of his family. So that's why it ended up getting sold out of the family name, out of the Kuntz family. That little tiny piece, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
So, but as far as any wells, no, I don't believe there is any wells there that is argumentative, but anyway.
And this is mostly trying to address the trailering issue because, you take Grove Creek as far as you can. There's places to park, but it's 4x4. It's not really trailer friendly. Would you say that's the reason you guys want to see this happen is for?
So the reason I want to see this happen is a multiple user opinion reason. It's not just a motorized opinion. This is 100%.
Oh yeah, horse trailer, any kind of trailer.
From equestrian to bicycles to hikers, everything else. I've actually done a lot of fire mitigation work in that canyon with my particular business I own. And when you get up to the gate where the horse starts, you're actually right next to private property on your left-hand side.
Mhm.
And you have barely enough room to really turn around a pickup, let alone a trailer, a two-place
Yeah.
trailer if you had that on. So really technically, like I said, my entire lifetime, I've never seen a horse trailer in the bottom of that canyon. It's always been parked on the county road. And so there is no development whatsoever to accommodate
Yeah.
access or easements in place to allow recreationists to get up there. Now, with the county, the Forest Service, as much money as they put into Grove Creek Trail, I mean, it's a very attractive trail. Lots of recreations go up it. I mean, I love riding my dirt bike on it, taking my daughters up there on their bikes, on their motorbikes, because super easy, very accessible. It's a great family trail in all reality. And it's becoming ever presently popular. This entire valley is becoming popular with trails, but this is a hot issue that I think that we could, settle quite quickly with this easement and have it put to bed.
Did they express any dollar figure, what they kind of think, or?
No. No, that's why I'm asking. And I mean, at this particular stage, I think it's if y'all give me the direction to go back and discuss that with them, I can definitely go and we can come up with a number that's agreeable or amendable. And maybe we need to have a sidebar out of this public meeting to really discuss what is within budget, within your line item budget, so y'all have planned out, what is in the coffers or what is in the slush fund or the rainy day fund.
From your experience, have you negotiated any leases like this elsewhere where maybe you just have like a ballpark figure on what something like this is worth?
Well, it really comes down to acreage, you know what I mean, like impact and what are the existing homeowners or landowners, giving up, is it a half acre, 3/4, is it 3, 4, 5 acres? And really, for conversation's sake, I think discussing acreage is really where it will land. In this particular situation with the ideas of parameters of what we discussed, we just basically stood in the field and said, oh, about right there, and you can go on up to this corner. And so then I went back and got on my GIS and I mapped it out based on our conversation in field. And it equated about just a little over half acre of land. Now that doesn't
one or two entrances, are you thinking?
Oh, it'll be frontage entrance along the whole thing. So
Okay.
it's a long skinny rectangle
Okay.
along the county road.
Yep.
So it'll be approachable and people to enter that particular parking area from one end to the other on that half acre rectangle. So
So
it isn't
would
like a driveway or anything.
Would a horse trailer
Oh yeah.
pull in perpendicular to the road, you figure then?
No, the horse trailers, if they're gonna come in there, they're gonna probably come in one end of off the asphalt, one end or another, but they'll be able to come in and stay it's big enough. Because you think about a half acre city lot or something like that. I mean, I owned one in town for 20 years. I know, I mean, a horse trailer can come in and roll in there and park on the back side, the back parameter of the parking and still leave plenty of space. And once again, how many horse trailers have we seen there? You see way more pickups and bicycles and dirt bikes than you do horse
Partly
trailers.
because, it's one thing to unload your bikes on a side of a road. It's another to unload a horse. It's pretty uncommon to want to, tie your horse up to the side of your trailer while you're getting ready when its ass is halfway out or more into the road.
And that would not be the case here. I mean,
Yeah.
if they parked on the backside, and typically, I mean, I'm a horseman too myself, and I've rode horses my whole life. I'm telling you, if I'm going to a trail like that, I'm not going to be unloading in the middle of late morning, because if I know what dirt bikes and bicycles are on that trail, I'm getting the heck up there before they
sure.
show up. Especially if I'm riding a mule. I mean, mules think bicycles are grizzly bears.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I think you got to view it in the concept of user time and fragment that out. Say, well, when do we see horse trailers typically, and when do you see bicycles? When do you see dirt bike parking? How does that all play? I mean,
Sure.
yeah, granted, they'll get to tie up their horse and throw a saddle on it or a pack saddle or whatever and head out of the trail, but that's gonna be no more intrusive than it is for a dirt biker to get ready to go or a bicycler to unload his stuff and get ready to go.
And then in the winter time though, snow machine trailers, is that an issue out there as well? I mean, could
You
this
know-
be set up as a year round, like set up for, so trailers can park there, you know, that's proper pull through, but anyone, you know, two vehicles can take up a trailer spot very easily, and just setting it up that way to just be conducive to like driving around and pulling through.
That potentially could be a winter use, but I can tell you off of history. I mean, I'm president of Skyliners Motor Club and I've snowmobiled my whole life here too. And that has not been an attractant that I've ever seen from snowmobiles. Now I ride timber sleds now, and so ride a dirt bike with a track on it. And I've done up Grove Creek occasionally, but not very often. I'm actually over towards Henderson, Dry Henderson or something. But very rarely have I
It's not
ever.
really trailer
I-
parking down there
no.
either though.
No, I'm very. I mean, I've seen a snowmobile in there once or twice, but it isn't like it's a hotbed like Pole Canyon or Darby, Pinnacle. It's nothing in comparison. It's very, I don't know, bulimic, or not bulimic, but just very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just very non-existent, I guess.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Well, it's just not attractive. Grove
Yeah.
Creek's not attractive to snowmobilers. It's just not a hotbed.
Wade, are you familiar with any existing access easements for Grove Creek Road through these, there's about a half dozen properties that road, that
It's
far.
Forest Service. It's a county road, actually.
So all those easements are in place.
All those easements are in place. That is a county road right up to the forest boundary.
Okay.
And then once it goes to the forest, then it's the forest responsibility, but literally that is a county road, goes up through those private properties.
Okay.
So Darrell and the county is responsible right to the forest line on that.
We just don't want to fund a program to find out someone could close the door, 100 yards up the trail kind of a thing.
Well-
Right. So, but if the easements are there, that won't be
The
an
easements
option.
are there, in fact, that within 2 years ago, there was a subject of that matter come up and, hey, we're gonna close this, and the Darrell had to actually step in and say, oh, no, you cannot close this. And so, it's not telling you, I understand totally what you're saying, because my entire lifetime, I've seen 5 different accesses lost because someone didn't do their homework
Mhm.
and the private landowner come in and said, this is done
Time's up.
today. So that's really sad when that happens, but it's happened multiple times in this county. But that is not the case in this situation.
Okay. Well, I would generally expect that the longer the lease, the cheaper the rent. And so if there were to be some discussions with the Coburns, it would be sort of along those lines of a 90, let's not go past 99 years. That seems like the most I've heard.
I mean, honestly, I would suggest you start with a 20. I mean, I'm also involved in Idaho State Parks and Rec and multiple ends from grant boards and different things and that I do. And the Idaho State Parks and Rec, they do not ever want to see less than a 20-year lease on anything
Yeah.
that they're involved in.
I
So,
think that'd be what we want to do, just because.
Yep.
We're gonna do stuff there. The other question I have too, I wonder, would be worth asking if in the future we put a restroom there or something, just because I can see, people get stupid. Just to say that, sure. Doing things around.
yeah, peeing on the corner of the car. or
Right,
whatever. Yeah,
right,
no, I
right.
get it.
Yeah, whether they have issue with that or not. DEQ check issues there.
Well, I think Grove Creek is not a hotbed as far as like Teton Canyon or Horseshoe, Pack Saddle. I mean, it is an issue, and I think this is a grand opportunity. It's like a hot pickable cherry. We can really pick this really easy, make a great example, say, hey, this is a catalyst. of what we'd like to see, a model of what we'd like to see happen in the future in the county, and then use this and progress. So with that being said, I mean, bathrooms, we can definitely entertain that opportunity 5 years down the road, but then I think the door needs to be opened of a greater space in a bigger area, because what I'm talking about today is really trying to fix and alleviate stress amongst landowners in the vicinity and give people off county roads, but then again, satisfy the beast for now and then entertain a bathroom later, because I just don't see.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're thinking of that now.
Yeah, but I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody's got to have a 5-10 year plan.
yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely. 20-year plan.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
So you're not talking year-round use on this?
No, we
I tried
would-
to go up there this winter and just check it out because, we've been talking about it and I had never heard of in that area. I mean, there's nowhere to park and that trail's getting used.
It would be plowed.
So, and
It would be
you
plowed.
would plow it? Okay.
Yep, it would be plowed in the wintertime. And I already have that figured out, so it's not gonna be an issue. It isn't like we're gonna ask the county, God bless Blaine Ball. I've lived with him and grown up with him in high school, but he'd bellyache if I said you gotta plow this and drop a wing, plow it. So I'm not even gonna approach that door with the county. I'm not even gonna do it. But I've already got that negotiated out, figured out how to maintain that in the winter, keep it plowed for winter access. Whether it's snowshoers, skiers or whatever is gonna be going up there.
cool.
So I have the size of the lot, the duration of the lease, the cost of the lease. A question about signage,
Yep.
and then this, I guess it would be, a question about installation. I know you've said you've
That'll
got
be
that
dealt with.
covered and you've got maintenance covered. I don't feel like we're in a position though to make a handshake kind of deal like that in terms of sounds good, have at it. So how do we, I'm always thinking about the hit by the bus issue, right? So
Yeah,
that's just something that I think needs to get written down in some way,
Yep.
even if it's just, however we're thinking about that. We need to kind of have that written down so that when it's not plowed, we can go back and say, hey, it says here you're going to plow this for at least 5 years or whatever the case might be, and there's some recourse there. And I wish it was this situation where we could. This is a tremendous opportunity. So thank you, first of all. I think what you're offering is really generous, but we have to protect what happens if your generosity disappears.
Well, as far as my generosity goes, as far as over the years, I may be involved with the plowing, but probably not, because I haven't. I mean, really, what we need to look at, my wife says the same thing. If I die in the business, who the hell's gonna run the business? So I don't want y'all to think that this is all contingent upon Wade Kaufman,
Yeah.
living another 20 years. This is all contingent upon the power of who's involved. And who I've involved in this is Idaho Parks and Rec is going to plow.
Okay.
So, I mean, Idaho Parks and Rec's going to be here way longer than Wade is
Yeah.
to plow it and maintain it. Now, if I'm involved in building it, I mean, that's not a longevity issue. That's a seasonal
Sure.
question. That's installation and get it done. TV Tap is more than happy to donate and contribute to this too. We've even talked about signage and on that aspect to say no littering, pack your crap out,
I think parking diagrams
Yeah,
are helpful.
yeah,
It's
It's
like,
like to Grove
yep,
Creek from here,
Yep.
just make
So
sure.
the signage is not going to be a problem. It's not going to be a Parks and Rec issue. It's not going to be a county issue.
well, we want it to be a Parks and Rec issue in the sense that we want to start showing where we're providing
Okay.
some benefit to the community, to the county. So I would say I'm personally game for those types of contributions, game for lots of these contributions, and appreciate you kind of getting it off the ground. So
Yeah,
That's-
I mean, that's what Parks and Recs is developed for, is to grand situations like this or maintaining existing facilities. But at the end of the day, my message today was to elaborate. There is people out here that are happy to step up to the plate and donate and do whatever it takes to make the recreation happen.
Great.
Yeah, I think, yeah, go ahead, we can co-burns,
Okay.
see what they're thinking. I think we're speaking for the board here, I think generally support it. Let's pursue it.
But I think you're really wise in discussing, in this agreement, what detailed out there, I mean, a trash pickup, cleanup, is there some 50-gallon drums, chained down or out there for trash collection? I mean, there's a lot of little details that we can work out down the road, but in the initial agreement, I think it's really, smart to have some verbiage in there about trash and who's maintaining and who's doing this, what's going to happen, maybe even the hours. If something's left there more than 2 days, it has a potential being towed or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just
The
throwing
co-owners
darts.
might want that, right? They
Right.
don't want, they don't want it to kind of turn into a used car lot.
There you go. And as I'm telling you, as a landowner myself, and if I was doing in their situation, you always have to view it from their position.
Mhm.
And I would be concerned about that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're just gonna,
Versus-
you gonna clean out all your beer cans and leave all your crap here, or, what are you gonna do? Who's responsible for that? That stuff.
Unbelievable, yeah, any specific issues they want to lump it out, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
And
sure they're thinking of the same ones we're thinking probably.
And maybe it's conducive to just propose that, say, is there some hot switches or bullet points that y'all want to throw at us that you'd like to include in this particular agreement to protect yourself or
Right.
voice some concerns, and let's write them down, put them in an email.
Yeah.
And then let's start this process, and then we can incorporate that into the contract and the agreement,
Yeah.
and so everybody's happy campers.
2 years down the road.
Yeah.
we're not going, well, Rich was-
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that situation. Yeah. Cool.
Well, I kind of see there's gonna be two different agreements going on. One with the landowner would be that lease, and then two would be with Idaho Parks. Is it the grooming district? Is that?
No, it's Idaho State Parks and
State
Rec.
Parks.
They actually have a guy that comes up here and has actually maintained parking lots the last 2 years. And that's what his job is. That's all he does, is maintain parking lots. They've given him equipment and ability to transport, and he's done Mike Harris, he's done Pole Canyon, he's done Pack Saddle, Horseshoe. I mean, he's worked for a lot of people here.
So yeah, there could be a separate agreement for the actual maintenance.
But
Have you guys had much communication with the Idaho State Parks and Rec?
have we?
Yeah.
Not? Well,
We've been focusing on local.
We're trying to get stuff.
So
Yeah.
in May, they're actually
Yeah.
coming. Idaho Parks and Rec is coming up to investigate some of the grant dollars that Dan Verbeeten and myself have acquired to build our grooming facility that we just got done. And they're wanting to entertain more parking lot ideas. I serve on the grant board right now presently in Boise for them. And they want to spend more dollars in this county. They are requesting more grants from us. And that's another conversation, but I want to see Teton County Parks and Rec submit a grant in perpetuity to what's going on in this county and develop some parking lots, because like I said, we've got wealthy people that have moved in and shutting off parking lots or abilities, and that all needs to be solved quite quickly. And that's the part of the reason the Parks and Rec's coming over is from Pete Jack Pine Pinnacle, is we proposed a whole new parking lot out there on Parks and Rec land on the Idaho, on the railroad bed itself. And so that's another reason they're coming out in May. I can tell you that date, but it's coming up, and I think it's May 17th or 18th is what it is. It is the 18th, 20th, 19th of May. 3 people from Parks and Rec will be here.
Loop on that, so.
Absolutely.
One of us definitely.
Well, I mean, we're gonna spend a whole day together in the county and going around and getting their particular 2 cents on, oh yeah, well, you better consider this, look into this. You know, it's gonna be a brainstorm session to try to solve some of these issues in the county, and so we've invited them over and they're coming.
I mean, if we notice it, all three of us could
Yeah.
attend, so.
Yep. It's actually gonna start at the Grumman building because they want to see where all their money went.
Okay.
Cool.
I'd be interested.
Great.
That's right next to our search and rescue, right?
Yep. Yep, that building we just put up, so,
Nice. Well, I appreciate it, Wade.
yep, absolutely.
Thank you, Wade.
I apologize, but I need to go back to work.
No worries. Sorry. Thanks for your time.
Have a good day.
Sarah.
Okay,
Regular meeting venue.
I know we've talked about this a lot, but we've never had it on the agenda as an action item.
I had a
As far
pang of
as-
fear I was walking into the wrong place this morning as I came in, or this afternoon, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Talked about it, and where we're pursuing this office space over there, it kind of just makes sense to have a home base versus going back and forth. And then also the conflicts that we've had here in the afternoons, we're having to get out of here when we're not quite done. So I would like to make a motion to change our regular meeting venue to the Annex Building Conference Room. Starting in May.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion?
There's nicer chairs here.
I know.
Well,
I'm gonna see if I can help with that.
Yes.
But otherwise,
Yeah, you're.
I'm in support of that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
That'll also keep us from going. I told Wade the other day, it's at the Annex. No, it's not at the Annex. It's like-
we never made it an action
Yeah, yeah,
item, so
yeah.
we could never change it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that also kind of leads into the number two, their purchase meeting technology. It seems like Katie's had some problems with the sound sometimes, or the video.
Board here is the microphone thing. When they do meetings out there, each of those guys has got microphones, which is being captured, but I am not capturing people's voices when we meet here.
And then you said at the, that first meeting with the advisory committee,
When it was
It
cutting in
wasn't
and out,
picking
it
up.
actually literally cut. So it wasn't just that Wi-Fi or my Wi-Fi problem or Trinity's, it was, or Unity's, I'm sorry, it was every time that it cut out on your end, it's cutting out on the camera as well.
And I
it
have-
has a big blank space. And I couldn't capture who was saying what when I was doing the minutes.
and I think it was that camera, and we've had problems getting that camera to connect to your laptop or, and being able to record over there with the tech that they're providing. So I kind of think we need our own that, that Katie's comfortable with and is a value to her, and helping her life as far as getting these meetings.
Do we have an idea what the cost on that is?
Those can range anywhere from $20 to probably $100. It's
Right,
not,
I have the
it's
20.
not.
Yeah, I was like, if you type in cameras and microphones for conference rooms, they kind of break them down by the size of your conference room and what works best. And the stuff I was seeing was around 1,000 actually to be able to.
So there's an owl meeting that like basically will capture anybody that's at the table, so for like 1,000, but you can find out the cheap.
And there were other ones too that just mount, in one place in the room and capture the whole room, kind of like what they have going on in here. But, we could set it up in the annex and have it work for that room that we're using.
I do think those owls, in my experience, have been some of the best. Sits in the middle of the table. Why is that?
It's in there.
Yeah,
But go ahead, they have a big one.
it's all in one.
Yeah.
It seems to capture the most of people.
Yeah, part of the question too would be then, I guess, the owl, if we purchase it. Take that with us. as opposed to-
That's a good point too.
Yeah, we have 6 cameras that comes.
Yeah, and I think for that size conference room, that the meeting owl was recommended the most. And they ranged in price from like 900 to 1,200, I think, depending.
And I'm just seeing one on Amazon right now for $450. So we could say up to 1,000 would probably be covered.
And
Well, that's what's nice is it's your camera and your microphone.
it can sit in the middle, like wherever. And the range, I think the vocal range should be defined on each model, like how far it'll pick people up. So we want to make sure that it covers that, the size room that we're going for.
It is $1,000 on the OWL website. Amazon must be running a sale. Anyways,
Sounds are good.
I'm good for it.
But then I was looking at the budget breakdown that we have in our agenda, the versus actual, and we have for office equipment, which I guess that would be considered. We have 8,000 budgeted and we've spent 1,100 so far. So it's within our office equipment budget.
Good. You want to make a motion?
Good, just letting Katie kind of research it and find the right size one and
Give them a budget.
get it on sale and a number.
I would say just put it up to 1,500 to
1,500.
cover taxes, shipping or whatever. I bet we come in a lot less, but we have the room in the budget.
I'd like to make a motion to purchase meeting technology camera, including microphone, such as that meeting owl, with a budget of $1,500.
Second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Aye. Okay, Matt Thackeray, City of Victor Parks Maintenance Seasonal Contract Discussion on maintenance.
So this, we've got Katie put it in the same folder here, is called the City of Victor 2026 updated TCN contract. So City of Victor subcontracts a lot of their parks maintenance at Trail Creek Nursery, based right there in Victor. And this proposal lists everything that they are providing. And you can see the value of that contract. This is tied to the JPA, which town council adopted March 25th. That's my wife's birthday. I wasn't there. Katie stood in. Was there anything from the discussion there that I
No, they buy some
Sail
stuff
through.
very quick.
they have bigger problems they're dealing with at the moment? And
They say he was like that. That's what Jess, I asked for it and she said that she sent it not to me.
I have a physical signed copy here and I have scanned it. Maybe I could just give this to you though. And that's signed by both parties. And my understanding from you, John, is that we needed to review the proposed use of those funds and sort of approve those.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Based on the joint power agreements. The joint power board. Just consensus on what projects they're going to pursue. And then those are presented to city council for approval and to us for approval. So,
Okay, great.
yeah.
So this might be a little premature in the sense that we don't have our third joint powers board member yet. I haven't gotten with Stacy. Holsing is the Victor council member that is going to be their representative. And we've just been kind of playing phone tag, trying to get together and figure out who we're going to grab for our third person.
One thing I did check with Jeff on is sure these need to be announced in public meetings. Unfortunately.
The JPA
Yeah.
or the Joint Powers
It's like,
Board.
I was gonna look, cause we're gonna meet next Friday. Figure out, I think, And I guess that's a question of perception, if that's a problem to me, it's like, well, we need a coffee shop. On if we notice it on the board, you know. Right, or do we need to have it, just has to be a public place.
And is it the 48-hour rule that we're
So I
Okay.
think for the first meeting, it would be considered, I think, similar like we did last year.
A special meeting.
A special meeting.
Yeah, 24 hours.
24 hours. Then, after that, at that meeting, we'll set a regular schedule. Me, I would suggest that we maybe say quarter.
Okay.
Because I see, you know, these power groups meeting regularly. That help set things up to be able and checking on projects, and then maybe having a special meeting off and post. Everyone. But if you need a meeting, then call a special.
Like work sessions in
Yeah.
between the quarterly.
Yeah,
so we'll call quarterly regular, all others are special.
that's my suggestion.
Okay. And I like that suggestion. And the specials are 24-hour and the regular are 48. And the noticing has to happen where? At the place where it's going to go down?
We'll notice on our website.
Okay.
And it's posted on place of.
Well, so that's for posting the agenda, those hours. Doesn't noticing need to happen further out? As far as the public notice? Like with ours, how we did the big notice that said this is when they're gonna be,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Or-
the agendas need to be posted.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, for the posting for special meetings, 24 hours for the agenda and notice. For our regular meetings, those have to be posted.
Like a 2-week notice, I bet would be the
Like
latest.
regular meetings, like here are posted on at the building, shows that these are our dates.
Yeah.
For the whole next.
Well, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to put it more than 2 weeks out so we can post all the quarterlies and then we'll go from there and then we'll be well covered.
Oops.
And we can check with Victor too. They're super familiar with all those
Yeah.
types of requirements. Okay.
And of course, meeting minutes, they can be pretty simple, you know, there's actions.
Agenda and minutes. Yeah. Okay. There's those lawyers again.
Well, it's.
So I'm going to work to.
to.
No, it's a great law. Absolutely. It's absolutely open government, super important. In that case, I'm going to suggest, that these maintenance costs estimates, we should just wait until I take the step with that board. And we'll bring it back here.
Yeah, one thing, I guess maybe we want to think about too, is, don't know that we've discussed this a lot recently, it's kind of what are those projects we want to pursue and maybe priorities and such, and I'm more hesitant on just maintenance and operations stuff, I mean, my opinion, early on in this process because once we start funding that, it's kind of almost an expectation that that's what we're doing. And from people looking in, a taxpayer looking in, they're not seeing anything new being accomplished, they're just seeing the city diverting funds to something else. And I don't know if that's pretty bad, that standpoint, they're tight budgets.
I mean, I would say I agree and disagree with you. I agree in the sense that we don't want to be funding maintenance per se, or we don't want to be replacing the maintenance mechanism of these municipalities. On the other hand, the maintenance resources of these municipalities have been so limited. Can we elevate the baseline of their existing resources so that their maintenance dollars are going towards,
So it's an improvement.
it's an improvement upon what exists so that spending less time fixing irrigation systems because they've got a competent irrigation system with which to operate versus constantly patching. Yeah. Might be semantics, but I do think that there's a need across the valley to kind of you know, yeah, there's an existing ball field. Yeah, it's getting mowed. It needs a topsoil dressing. It needs some
Right,
better
but-
irrigation.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
is it
But I
maintenance
think-
or is it an improvement? Might be,
Yeah, I think those are neglected,
yeah,
opposed to just a contract. Mow lawns.
right.
So,
And the
I think-
contract to mow the lawn should continue, I think, live with
Yeah.
the city in this out of the city's coffers.
So I'd like, I guess, in my mind, kind of what I'd like to see. Rigs is, there are irrigation upgrades that's just.
Okay. Who makes up the Driggs Joint Powers Board?
Right now, it's just me and Bryce, Bryce from Beacon.
Sure.
Uh,
Did you guys already start to meet?
We have not met. But the one advantage, I guess, Driggs has that makes this effort with Driggs less, is they've got a pretty active Parks and Recreation committee
Okay.
that's been working, thinking about projects for, gosh, 6 months. 80%. So they're looking at those. So it's been kind of, you know, these are the things from my standpoint that I feel we should be looking. Upgrades. Things that, but so that irrigation, ball field, ball.
Great. Cool. That's what I'll work on.
And then also making sure that it's not already budgeted for, right, in this year, in this fiscal year. If they already set aside money for that, it's not something that we can tackle in 2026.
Okay.
So in between now and October,
Because they would have to go back.
they,
Change
yeah,
their
they need
budget.
to
Okay.
keep it that's double taxation.
Yeah. Okay.
So this maintenance contract kind of falls under that, I would think, if they already had something in their budget for it,
Yeah,
then that's what they need to use that money for.
and it's hard this first year because the way we've got going, we couldn't say, yeah, this is something fun. Because everything was so. up
They had to
in the air.
budget for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't know.
Their budget at the same time, we were trying to figure out, hopefully next year we can better accommodate that, that's our. As soon as we figure out, okay.
Get our budgets aligned, yeah.
Budget line. Yeah. Anything else, man?
Not for me, no.
Cool. Next item, item 7, Not Valley Aquatics contract action item. Or in touch with. Month ago. You guys proposing.
And there's an error in it.
What's the
What
title of
document?
this file? I looked at it earlier, but now I'm not seeing it.
Teton Valley Aquatics, 2026 request for funding.
Is it in this?
It's
Click on it.
titled.
Right below 7.
No, I'm just going back to the email, which is where I think I saw it.
That's on the agenda, the link worked for me, and then the tab says 104.
on the agenda.
Couldn't
Okay.
open it.
Yeah, it worked once. Maybe it's gone now.
It worked for me.
But you can look at this one
Great.
if you want to. Just look at that one. This is the error. That's actually $12,000. And this is from the last time we talked. When I was here on March 10th.
Is this total still the same though?
This is an increased total.
Waiver is 12,000.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So when I came on the 10th, this is what we discussed.
Mm-hmm.
As a $13,360 total.
Mhm.
And this was the total for labor and mainly for swim instructors that were from our group that would come in and volunteer. And they're dwindling after 5 or 6 years of swimming. That there aren't as many people that want to come and volunteer their time as teachers. And so that was starting to become a pinch point. And then also our pool manager, because we work 10-hour days, he'd come in a bit early and stay a bit late to close the pool. And then there's chemical adjustments and other things that needed to be done. We were incurring a lot of overtime. So this labor is for another person to be hired, to be trained by our pool manager now to really be his assistant, but really take over part of his work to eliminate the overtime. And then also, as I've asked through the amended proposal, to have that person be trained to the same level as Josh is as a certified pool operator, so that we have a redundant resource. The person that we've kind of got in mind had volunteered for 2 years to be a swim instructor and assistant, and she was unpaid, just came and volunteered in the pool. Then she's been an instructor for 2 years for us and is a junior in high school now. So I think she'd be a really good investment in additional training as a certified pool operator, or even as a water safety instructor, if that would suit our purposes better. One of those 2 certifications would really benefit us. So that's what I've asked for in addition to what I visited with you on March 10th, is the cost of her training, so that we have that redundant resource. And then also the next would be Josh is going to turn 26 years old on June 22nd. And he's in, I mean, we would like to keep him. And part of the equation to keep good help is to help them figure out how to get insurance. So I've put a $200 stipend in for Josh to be given each month for insurance, and his may be more, maybe less, I don't know, but when I looked, 200 seemed in the ballpark. And
Okay.
we gave him a raise from last year to this year too. So I think, which is paid for outside of this request. But I think between the raise we gave him, which just kept up with the cost of living and gave him a little bit of an increase because he's been a dedicated employee. So with this $200 per month stipend for insurance, that would help ensure that he can stay as an employee of ours in the summer. So, and then the other piece that I'd request is above and beyond the classroom has classes in our pool all 4 days of the week. And a lot of those people that use the ABC service aren't really there. It's just kind of a pay as you can system that ABC has. So we're raising our fees this year. So I would like to freeze the raise instead of passing it on to ABC. Stick with the old cost of $50 an hour for half an hour class. And that's, if you have a full hour class, it was $100. So keep the same level of charging practice that we had with ABC last year. They've lost a pretty significant piece of state funding. And so they're working hard internally to make their ends meet. And so I would like to help them out by, it's essentially giving that program a little bit of a scholarship and the amount of $900. So for their,
We
for their
can't call it that.
students. Hmm?
We can't call it that.
Okay, then
Just
it's
providing
a little bit of a help with lessons for them.
Thank you.
Which is why I was thinking, why just for ABC? Why not everybody? Like, if we're supposed to be providing swim lessons, I think we need to be like providing it to everyone. So perhaps we're helping lower the cost for everybody, and how you guys apply it to.
So
ABC,
what
I
we've
think.
done is we have the community foundation also has, we've requested a grant through the community foundation, and I think we're going to get it. And so I've asked for that type of, and they don't mind scholarship. And so when people come and request help with our classes, we usually give them half off of the class, unless they can't even do that. And then we'll waive the fee completely, but we'd like to have them pay something, because then the attendance is better. So I didn't want to double ask this year. And I wasn't sure when I submitted that request for scholarship grant from the foundation, if there was any opportunity to talk with this program. So I think it's good.
Maybe we cover the cost increase
Yeah, so that.
and then it's not applied. directly to ABC or scholarships. It's just making up the difference. For everybody in the community, everyone has an opportunity to pay that lower price.
Mhm.
So you, yeah, increased your rates, so the
Correct.
percentage of the communities can pay that higher rate. The service investments maybe buying down that cost to keep those rate consistent with last year. So broader across the board.
We could. Yeah,
Do you have a sense of what was the rate increase?
you have to do a bit of math,
Uh-huh.
but we published I think we're ready to go out. People are signing up for swimming at the new rate, so, but maybe not enough have that we could go in and rework it a little bit.
Do you guys set your rates in, obviously it's a reflection of your cost,
Mhm.
right? I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if we offer a 1 hour swim lesson for $20, lots of parents who don't even care about swimming are going to put their kids in that swim lesson because that's the cheapest daycare you could get in the valley, right?
They have to stay.
Okay. That's
I'm just
example. But
We're not-
if you set it at, $100 for a half hour or whatever, the demand would fall
Correct.
off,
Correct.
right? So you're trying to find that
The sweet spot
sweet spot in there.
because our general desire is everybody knows how to swim.
Mhm.
And cost isn't a barrier to anybody taking their swimming lessons. And so that's our hope, that's our desire. Yeah.
That's the intention, why it's in the statute. It's
Mhm.
that intention right there. And so I guess that's how I would feel more comfortable as far as paying for swim lessons, whatever's within the statute to do it versus picking one organization that you guys work with.
Okay.
Making it more across the board, all the residents of the county have the same access to that particular discount.
Have you begun collecting funds for swim lessons already?
Not yet. Josh just came over this afternoon and he said, get the document out there so I can call him and say, we'll change the price if that's what we want to do. But I wouldn't, it'd take me till tomorrow morning probably to tell you what the impact of that change would be in dollars.
Do you have a
Well, if we just looked at, so there's 10 weeks. The first period is halftime. Let's disregard that. So there's 9 weeks times 40 hours. And we raised if we pretend they're all 1 hour classes, it went up $20. So
So
9
that's
times
360
times-
hours times 20. That's $7,200. Mhm.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like that's more in line with what the purpose of the statute is.
I'd be happy with. That'd make me real happy. That's right. So essentially what we would do is, delete the $900 and put in $7,200 in its place.
Where you had 1,000 for ABC and then 900 was for
Oh,
the
I used the
Spanish.
wrong line. Yep.
Which
Yeah.
I feel like would still fall under that same
We bring the total to 26,000
available to everyone.
instead of 19,600.
Okay. That would be exciting. That'd make me really happy.
I think what I would like to see come out of this is this newer number and some type of press release articulating how the Teton Valley Parks and Rec District, one of its prime obligations under state statute is this, the safety around gaining swimming skills, and is because of their contribution is holding the price to former rates, whatever the case might be, you know, so we're getting a little. I think there's a lot of
Well,
people in the
people
county that are gonna be
need to know
curious where the
you're-
money is going.
that you've done something good for everybody. That would be great.
Well, the other, we didn't really discuss the first two items yet, as far as. The. The training for pool op, yeah, it seems like two people need to be trained, and if someone's sick, you can't open the pool because no one
Well,
knows the deal.
but they can work under the direction of the current certified pool operator. So even if they're home, they can, you know, they can do the chemical analysis, and they don't typically then add the chemicals themselves. But we can get that done with only one. But I don't know how long that person might stay, or think that this is a good enough job to be here. And he doesn't work for us very much in the winter. You know, we try and hold his attention with tasks that he works for us. About $1,000 to $1,200 a month from like November, December. But he's a ski instructor too. But I can't rely on just one person. But if I had two coming back next year, one of the two certainly will come back. Maybe both, but that'd be great too.
I think it's still don't.
Yeah, because our kids taught swimming when they were in college. So it's even if Morgan goes, and then she'll come back in the summers to work here. Her mom and dad are here, and she loves working at the pool. So I'm confident if we make the investment in her, she'll come back year after year.
Yeah, so the pool maintenance, I think. Since we're having the JPA in place with park, essentially. Maintaining a facility at that park, the pool is part of that.
We
So-
submit a special event request to the city to use that piece of land in the park.
So I feel like I'm comfortable with that. I think the health insurance thing though, I don't know that. That falls within what we're doing since he's not our employee.
It's an interesting question, yeah. Will involve in.
I'm pulling up the statute now to look at the swim language. Give me a second here.
Jeff.
Maybe it just,
It's kind of bundled in a labor cost. I just pulled it out because it's a change in what we want to be able to offer him with this compensation package. So
Yeah, it's really kind of almost that cost of increased costs for everyone. Is it part of that overhead cost, which is
yeah, so
separately spelled out here?
we're gonna supplement the price of lessons. Where was that increased money going originally? That $7,200, where was that earmarked? Was that gonna pay for benefits for him? Was it gonna pay?
it wasn't really paying for benefits. It was just so the 12,000. So the 12,000,
No, I'm
1,200. Oh,
talking the 2,400.
the 2,400 for just his
Yeah,
insurance.
so that
We had never offered that before. This is a changed condition just based on his age this year.
But
But
it's
then-
not included in your present overhead costs, or it is.
It's not.
And then so if we took items 3 and 4 and we're comfortable saying that's helping provide swim lessons. That $7,200 plus the 900, so 8,100. What, when you guys raised your prices, what was that $8,100 earmarked for? In the grand scheme of, we're just raising prices because everything's going up, or did you have it?
Yeah, the cost of chemicals was going up. And so it just, and things were out too. I mean, we had, and we requested funding for a new chlorinator, which we received from another grant. But over time, I mean, the pool liner could be getting old. We run without any contingency in the program. We usually draw down our funding, and I think we hang out and hope for Tin Cup to come through. And so this is actually to help us work toward being a solvent operation.
The specific line is to
Wow.
provide classes in water safety and swimming to the public. So I think we would be best served if we struck out all of the pieces of this proposal that are not related to swimming instruction and modify the amount of swimming instruction to the amount that we think is most supportive to that end.
I think that's what I'm trying to get at too, is, all this other stuff that's part of your guys' operation,
But there's no way that I could ever argue that if what I requested, if we're covering what that increased cost is completely through this number, that I would also need all the subsets that I had previously requested.
It's all overhead costs, it's inclusive to providing swim lessons.
Right.
okay.
I think what we're
Just
seeing.
want to make sure we can justify that.
Yeah, we've broken it down far enough to pick through, but that is the cost of providing swim lessons, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, when I wrote this, our insurance went up $61 a year, but I mean, there's a lot of nitpicky things. The cost of chemicals went up 150. The, pieces and parts are all increasing a bit, and we hadn't increased our lesson cost in a few years. So we just said, okay, it's time to take a step function change. And those were even numbers. And here we go. We're going to get closer to.
John, have you had any conversation with Jeff relative to Teton Valley Aquatics?
I asked him, I said we were looking at providing funding for an organization, nonprofit, to swim lessons. So I asked him, what's the mechanism? Right, simple.
Okay. This may not constitute a contract then?
I think what we would do is prepare some contract. What we're providing for lessons, for instance, and what we want to see. Expect we want to see a report. This is what we did. This is how many kids we helped.
So perhaps this isn't an action item today then, because we would want to take action on a contract, and this is just a discussion to say, hey, we are in support of this value that allows you to plan, allows us to generate a contract, and next month we can sign it.
So the action proving all.
Today. Put in the contract to approve later. Yeah, because I guess my concern is the other piece of your organization, some sort of aquatic center. I want to make sure that we're not being associated with that,
Right.
with this funding.
Right, that's fair enough.
And I think a lot of taxpayers would appreciate that distinction as well.
And in our budget, we actually have a operating budget and a pool budget separate, and then they're combined at a, the high level, but we do track them both separate. So.
Because I know the press release you're talking about sounds great, and then people are, well, we don't want a pool. We want to make sure, well, it's not going to a pool, it's going to swim lessons.
Right.
So just making that
It's always
clarification
been
as well.
pretty sensitive. Everybody wants it except some.
It's going towards classes and water safety.
Yeah. So making sure that we're, sticking to the statute as we're trying to do with the JPAs and all of that. Making sure
That's good.
it's along those same lines.
Do you call the statute number for aquatics?
Oh, well, it's within just our
Yeah,
general one.
I mean, I've got the bigger one here that I
43,
plugged in. It's
chapter-
Title 31, Chapter 43, And then 314304.
That's the title.
And then if you scroll down to hold on. Directors, oh no.
It's under the. This one first. Sections.
The powers of district 314317 is actually where it really shows up. It's a short line, but it's pretty clear. Classes and safety.
But then also we need to provide a pool. So
Which gets me excited.
to put the kids in, with people in general, I think it has to.
Classes in water safety. I'm thinking of a swiftwater rescue class.
We're doing that. We're helping with a Swiftwater rescue class, or it's really a life skills class with, is it Teton? What school is doing it? Science school. Yeah, one of the instructors called, and so our program manager, Josh, is gonna work 3 days. We'll pay for his time, but to go and help with that school class in Swiftwater and just generally hazards in our community and hypothermia and even floating the Teton
You know,
River,
I
life
wish we could-
jackets, and what do you wear? What do you?
Yeah, I mean, I really wish that the powers of the district included things, other life skills. But it's really just got sort of this swimming one. And I'm just saying, I really want to lean into it because I think that that's there's good ROI on those dollars. I think in moving forward, you should communicate to your board this very specific guidelines we have to follow and start to structure your budgets with that type of consideration.
Sure, we can. So is it possible to help other organizations? Like Teton Science School help them with like the class that they have. It's a life skills class. It's 2 1-hour classes and then 1 4-hour class on the river. Or I mean, because there's some sensitivity in nonprofits supporting funding other nonprofits work, but I don't know if you've probably not ready to. I'm not
What we've
not
seen
wholesale
other
farm out things.
what
but-
we've seen in somewhere in this language is and it's something we've run into relative to working with the public school district
Mhm.
is a concern about that it's generally available to the public, right? And so
Okay.
your lessons in this Drake City Park are generally available to the public. The lessons at a private is
Correct.
education institution are not.
Okay.
Uh,
But in May, Water Safety Month, if we would open that to the public and have,
if you wanted to
then
have a
that may be.
swiftwater rescue class on the
Mhm.
river and it's run through Teton Valley Aquatics and it's water safety specific and
I think Jeff will look at that.
Mhm. But for next year, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not now.
Next year.
I just, yeah, but it could be possible. Okay. Because we
generally open to the public, I think is
expand
what
what we
you've got to
can do.
focus on.
Just we're limited by our funding now to what we think is most necessary to do.
Okay. Thoughts?
Uh, okay. Um, suppose maybe the way to go about this, I'm going to go back to our budget here. We currently have $0 spent and 223,000 allocated for nonprofit support. So I would make a motion to allocate calculator back up here. $26,000 of that budget category towards Teton Valley Aquatics for the purpose of assisting in providing water safety classes and swimming lessons to the general public.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
It's really nice. Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda, Tonya JPA.
Okay, well, we came back with more comments after our meeting with the mayor. Katie and I met with him. And I actually put in, if you go to the folder for today's documents, I made a Victor JPA little folder and I put basically what we've got. The one I created today, the 20260414 JPA, that is kind of my condensed version where I got rid of all of the old comments from the other two that had been approved but were somehow in there. And so basically the highlighted blue sections are still in progress. And the mayor really wants to define things more as projects within their facilities.
What do you mean?
Instead of us operating and maintaining, like the rec district, we're participating in the form of projects. And so this wording that I've put in here in these highlighted, I feel like capture what he's trying to do, but also still fits what we're doing with the other cities. So I think in this paragraph, we had discussed going back to the original language that the other two cities have. So this first highlighted section under recitals. The mayor, if you go to his page,
Sorry, I'm just catching up. 414 dash draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, all the documents are in that folder.
So
Teton JP. So the the PDF is the most recent one from the mayor, and he put his in blue text this time.
So it's the
It
bottom one
includes
there.
all of
It's the last one,
the PDF. No, the PDF.
Okay, that this one.
That one. That's the one the mayor sent after Katie and I's meeting.
Oh, okay.
So stuff in blue is from that, and I wish she would have just turned everything back black and only included. So that's what I attempted to do in my version. So if you.
So the next version is.
So mine is all black except for the comments from our last meeting and how I interpreted them. His actual comments are in that PDF. So well, what we discovered, if you're looking at, which one are you looking at?
I'm looking at the PDF.
The PDF, okay.
Focusing on the blue language under section 3.
Is organized. We actually went to the statute and that created for and organized. That actually isn't this in the statute. So what's in the other two are, it's not verbatim, but he wanted to see it with quotes that it's from our statute. And so that's all that blue is that's direct language.
Okay.
So we can skip ahead. The red and yellow, we already discussed that. That's all been changed and approved.
Yeah, but sorry.
We discussed all of this in our prior meeting. Even the may versus shall, which was in the mediation portion, was another contingent or point of contention, I guess, of that, and he agreed to change that. So if you go to my document, you'll only be looking at what the new discussion was.
The highlighted blue.
Yeah, the
Okay.
highlighted blue. And so it's in the agreement, go down to section 3, purpose, that paragraph. He wanted to have projects in there. And so I went back to our discussion that we had with Jeff, how we're going to need to have additional exhibits defining each facility.
So what we can do is conduct projects at facilities. And so we've identified facilities within each JPA facilities, and then those JPA groups will get together to identify those projects.
Yes.
So
And so what he wanted to see in the JPA was how those are being identified. So this blue highlighted section is extra, that's not in the other two. And it's condensed a little bit from the mayor's notes that he had in his version, which is the PDF. And it basically, yeah, it just came down to what Jeff was saying about additional exhibits will be needed for each facility to, because they're all going to be different. How we collect fees, who administers them, what's going on in each park is going to be different.
you only have to
So-
worry about fees. There's
If we're charging fees, yeah.
Yeah.
So all that's going to be described. And so he wanted more language about where it's going to be defined. And he was calling it Exhibit B in the original document. And then it's like, where's Exhibit B? And I think Jeff said it is okay to call it just future exhibits
So
from my recollection.
So this highlight, he's just, if I read this right, he's just saying, he's just delineating, providing additional explanation of how those projects will be run. That we're gonna identify that we're gonna pay 50%, they're gonna pay 50%, or how that vendor completion.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's, I mean, it's the Tetonia JPA, and I've kind of gone into this, this is their document. This isn't Victor's, it's not Drake's. If this is what,
Right.
the mayor wants to see. And if you look at his language in that PDF, it was a little more wordy. I feel like I cut out some redundancy. And then also, yeah, we didn't want to have an exhibit B because we don't have an exhibit B to provide.
Yes. Where I'd be with this is to provide your comment this time back to him. Say, are you happy with this? And then we'll just run it by Jeff and say, you good with this? I mean, just because you got two lawyers going, so.
That's
And the last city council meeting I was at, because their lawyer sits in at all their meetings, and they specifically asked about is it okay to say shall for mediation? He said, yeah, that's okay. That's normal progression of.
We are going to do it first, no matter what. Yeah.
So.
That's.
And I
I'm
think-
comfortable. This is putting another layer on, and I'm totally comfortable with it. I think it's providing more clarity, and,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing. I think I've been relying on it in the Victor JPA to say that the Joint Powers Board are the ones that are sort of defining these projects, and here he's just wanting to see it be a little bit more detailed up front, and I think that's I don't see any problem with it either.
I thought it was just more words.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will send this back to the mayor. We're not on their agenda tonight because we didn't.
I would
have
on
any-
section 3 purpose, hold or maintain facilities. I don't know if that should be a capital F facilities. It seems like that's a key, it's all about the facilities.
Yeah, I don't know that needs to be on. I don't know if this board needs to look at it again. If he just looks at it and says, yeah, I'm good. We can run it again. But you've captured those comments. Or succinct, then the one by Jeff. Then if he says, yeah, then go back. I think that,
Get them to sign.
yeah. That's fine.
Well, yeah, we didn't make the agenda tonight, I guess. We got other stuff, more important things going on. I don't know.
So we'll then take a vote today to say approved as amended. Is that right? And subject to final legal review?
Do that. Yeah. That motion.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve the Teton Valley Parks and Rec Joint Powers Agreement as amended and subject to our legal counsel's approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. That was, make sure you send a copy of this.
It's in,
Is that the one?
it's in the,
Agenda?
it's in the documents folder for this meeting.
Oh.
So
Okay.
you just need that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Teton Valley. Teton Valley. School district.
No.
I can put it in just in case that's something.
What is the? No.
Well, what do you want to go to Teton County JPA? That's number 9. Let's not skip
Oh,
that.
excuse me, I missed that, sorry, yes.
We don't
Teton
need
County.
the report unless Jeff sent something to one of you guys that
I have not
It's
seen any.
something I put on in case something.
Yeah.
Something happens at the last
That
minute.
happens last minute.
I saw in his invoice that he's been working on it, so maybe it's time to just check back in and see what he's gotten from that.
Billy
Time
came
you
through
spent.
here earlier. I actually talked, on a similar note, I talked to Billy, asked her where the lease was, it was supposed to be on the agenda yesterday, I don't know if that the same.
Well, she had said that they wanted more of an exact number for the, where we had said we're fine with $1,000 a month, and then I think I don't know where this, like, they want to get every cent paid for, I guess.
I explained to her, I thought that, you know, it seems reasonable and we need to pay a reasonable fee. I mean, that we can't just keep paying to cover their account. So
Yeah.
if it takes, a year and a half, we cover those costs for them. But if we continue on, they're comfortable with those costs, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they can spend that
So
money on whatever.
She sort of,
Essentially,
I
it's
think lights came on.
like $1,000 a month is 1,000,
Right. Till we take that bill.
So I didn't really understand why they didn't get it on there either, so. Maybe the next one. So, because we approved $1,000 a month.
Yeah, yeah, we're all, yeah,
So-
that's what I told them. And
Doesn't like $20,000.
So are we waiting on her for a lease agreement?
Commissioners. And they didn't do it.
Is there a draft lease agreement? Great.
That was the one that we
Oh, we did.
we
Yeah.
approved with Jeff's input
Yep.
and
Yeah,
comments,
okay.
and then I feel like it got sent to everyone.
yeah, he said it. He said
Big.
it back.
Didn't, I mean, it had the signage, being able to put up our sign with permission, with signs. Well, I guess this latest one you were included on, but it's here on this list here. Well, no, it wasn't, John, you weren't on there either. I thought you guys were all on there because you guys were all on the previous one, and I just didn't click on the little arrow to see who the CCs and all that was.
I mean, it's
I figured
So
it's
here,
short.
I wasn't
hopefully it's
everybody again. If there were- Says as of April. The states will change, but commencing June 1st, I think June 1st is when the term is set to start still, so we still have time to
Okay.
get things signed.
Teton School District 401.
I had that great meeting with Brian. He's totally game to participate. I saw Jeff's comments relative to, the generally available concern. I think it's a good one. I think it's addressable. The next step was to meet with Jenny Beach, who was the chair of the school board. And he also suggested that Trudy Treasure, who is the she's got, I forget what her title is, but she's at the middle school, but Trudy handles the calendaring for them. When I talked about the calendaring piece with Brian, you got really excited about that. She does a lot of work on their calendar. And I said, well,
For scheduling.
yeah, and I know it's something that we've talked about as a resource to provide. It's been a little while. I said, I kind of actually wanted to start with Trudy in terms of, hey, how are you guys doing this, running this? How would we overlap? I feel like it could be a good first step in terms of how we might want to address a calendaring approach. And it's just been crickets. So the last email I sent to him, I think it was just yesterday, I said, hey, because I kind of said, can you introduce me to Jenny? And even though I know Trudy, I wanted it to come from him, like, talk to Matt. Well, could you guys please talk to Matt? And he hasn't done it yet. So I pinged him yesterday and just said, hey, can I reach out to them directly? And haven't heard back. So it's kind of in his court, and I'm just waiting to hear.
Hey, I would, for the reason I was at the school board meeting last night. I forgot that this year, we'll see already, so. So they've got a.
So
Well,
But that, yeah, that's the first thing I'm thinking, it's like, okay, maybe
if
we.
you're,
can help with
if you're
something.
losing money,
But
the
yeah,
next question
yeah.
is where am I going to go find some more? And it is true, I believe that we did not have anything for the school district in terms of this year's budget.
We did not specifically, but we have money in there for field work that
Mhm.
was estimated based on schools' fields.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, them being the owner.
Yeah.
Field in question.
yeah,
Is that under TVPR projects then, maintenance and
Yes.
capital improvements?
Yeah.
And we've got $500,000 there for
Yeah.
TVPR projects. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so we need,
um,
since I'm in that building a lot. So
I'm definitely happy to.
I will just,
team.
I will try to poke them just to
Yeah.
get them to respond.
Yeah. Jenny Beach is what that's what we talked about. It was like my understanding of the way if I've got a complaint or a proposal for a partnership or anything like that for the school district, it has to go to the superintendent first, then the school board. Like I don't think we're allowed to approach the school board directly. I could be wrong about that, but that's my understanding in terms of they have an orders of operation that they like to see. And so that's what I've been doing, but yeah, they're busy, right? They got lots of things on the plate. So would be happy for you to help be a squeaky wheel there.
I'll
Yeah.
just poke it. He's never there. Is what I just said.
And maybe that gym right there at the school district building might be our first experiment as far as facilities and tackling, because it seems like that would be the ideal one to be used for rec purposes versus school, because it's not dedicated to a school. So
I've actually never been in the gym there. Where's that at?
You go through the cafeteria
Uh-huh.
and
To the north, towards
Yeah.
Pedal.
Yeah.
Through the cafeteria
Yeah.
and further to the east. Yep.
the gym's through there.
Okay.
And to me, that seems like
Is that ever used for
I don't know how
high
much
school
it's used,
sports?
and that's what I'm
Huge.
hearing.
It's used.
Like the
a lot,
volleyball folks were here, and I think they use it.
Yeah, there was somebody in there the other day, might have been baseball, that's a big high net. But but a lot of times it's not, because we use the restroom facilities in that area, so you walk in there and it's like,
I just think it's an underutilized space that,
yeah.
maybe it's the first step in facilities with the school district, is maybe taking a little ownership over there and utilizing it to the fullest, like with rec leagues
Yes.
and I
That's
don't know.
it.
Because I just feel like, for example, with basketball, they
Yeah.
were doing it between Briggs and Ruse, and they had it scheduled. And then all of a sudden one night, oh, can't do practices. There's something else going on now. It's like, well, how does that happen?
Yeah, with no notice kind
With
of
no
thing.
notice, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just frustrating, and I feel like they're just not.
They need a 24.
They're not
emergency
using
note.
like either you are using the school or you're not.
Don't you have some experience with the
Yeah, she
calendaring
does.
approach?
Yeah.
Colleen? What was the software that you used?
Well, as far as working with the school district, there wasn't a software. The school district had calendars out for all of the schools for like all the schools in Sandpoint that had gym space, classrooms, libraries. And then we also did Sagal and we were part of the Monterey. And they basically sent me a calendar invite. We had a partnership with the school district. If they wanted to use our stuff that Sandpoint owned, so our football fields or baseball fields, they got first grabs if we got first grabs up there. So I would go in and just calendar off my time, what I needed it for, and they would send me a.
Like an 8.5 by 11 sheet?
It just was a big old desk calendar and they had probably about 15 of them. And I went in and wanted this middle school and I needed this high school and I needed this for all my rec programs. It was really easy. I mean, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
But doesn't our website
Yeah.
software, isn't there a connection we can get to that?
Yeah, that's the additional piece that once we have
There's a
placed.
registration software that can be used, but those are gonna come more for if we have a program that we're holding in a gym that the school district says we can use, that's how that registration software. So it doesn't come up necessarily as a reservation piece, unless it's like a campground or a park.
Yeah.
So if
And
they,
that's
they
in their
don't,
rec software too, though, the reservation. The Civic Plus should have reservations, scheduling. And payments all in their rec software. So, but that's the additional piece that we don't have.
Right,
We would just be working off of our calendar, which can do a lot. As far as like telling who's doing what, where.
it can't, but it can't reserve, right, so that's the part of it, is that we're talking, is the actual reservation piece, like all my recreation software does the wins and wears, and we have calendars and we have notifications. But as far as me grabbing that space, so if I had open gym and we charged adults $2 and they wanna come in and we only have 50 spaces, then they can register for the program, but I have to reserve that space. That's my gym for that particular period of time.
so what if we decide, based on our discussion, school district, that gym at the administration building is now our gym. You control this gym. You're in control, it's just. there.
Right.
Now, people wanna use it, and so this software, I would think we would be able to say, okay, the volleyball people wanna use it. 8 to 5, they go.
It does have,
They
it's,
sign up and reserve it.
we have to talk to them specifically on how that's going to piece out, because I do know. They do have that component, yes, is it an additional cost? It can be, Yeah.
Could you see what it would take to use it?
yes,
So I think that is a good example, like, you know, we get armed around something like that, and we don't have to. I mean, there might be a little bit of impact from base and high and ABC, because they use that, but that's a small.
Well, there's gonna be so much to figure out though, right? Like,
It'd be a great way.
yeah.
But like the open gyms, like she was mentioning, I know they happen, but I just don't know where you find the information to get in
I mean,
there.
that
And how do people schedule it and
during the
the
day.
school generally, like, in my experience, the school has the first, obviously, they're gonna schedule their gym out first, right? And what their kids are gonna use for their practices, but then after that is where I was able to come in. And say, on Saturdays from, 10 to 12 is gonna be adults, and then from 12 to 2 is gonna be kids. And that 4-hour block is mine. And then anybody else can reserve around where I was at. They, the same thing, the nonprofits got to come in after I did, and then the for-profits obviously got charged a ton more. But they would be able to grab spaces from the school districts. So it was coming into just that kind of that partnership, so the school got their, high schoolers got the gym first, their junior high teams got the gyms first, but then anything that was left. The Parks and Recreation Department got it, and then non-profits, and then.
So when I start to talk to Trudy, would it be accurate to say that we would be on, if we were to pursue a calendaring approach, we would be on the Civics Plus calendaring software?
Yes.
I mean, let's find out, start there. Maybe the school
Yeah.
district's already on something like that. I don't know.
get what they're using.
But I think that, I mean, I look, middle of the day, I mean. Rabid, pickleball people should.
I was just thinking the pickleball.
Yeah, like,
Gym
why-
doesn't
how,
get
how come they're
used.
not in there?
They would be able to use that, and it's in such a centralized location, to be able to get access for the keys to open it up, and us have equipment for them to be able to pull out and pull in. You can do programming that way for. Same
Yeah.
thing with volleyball.
But then I start to think about, okay, wait a minute, the pickleballers are taking the gym 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. You know, what authority exists to rein them back because
Oh, I think-
suddenly the, badminton club doesn't,
I think it's like baseball field. Is you gotta have there's gotta be some level of, you can't have it all,
Yeah, season.
and
Yeah.
if you're a hot soccer player, you don't get.
Sure, but the school district, everyone's going to want to know how
Yeah.
that decision gets made. When does
Well,
gets to say
again, that's a good.
you've had
good-
enough?
Good pilot program to try to test
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
make sure
exactly.
Around and figure it out, so I think that's a great idea. To try to work that, and that would be good. It's a small.
Okay,
piece, so
well, you can
everybody-
poke Brian next, and I'll poke him after
I'll
that.
just, I'll
And
be in there tomorrow, so I'll go with other things.
um, and
Both sides.
yeah,
I mean, he's busy.
and the calendar secondary. Look how long it's taken to get the JPAs together, guys. Right? Like it's going to take a minute, and we just want to get started. It's
I think there's ways of doing this without necessarily having to go into the registration software side of it, like starting off easy with just. Calendars.
Yeah.
And then seeing how that pans out with an erasable calendar instead of going digital and spending a bunch of money trying to piece it together, because it never.
only to
works
find
for
out
me.
it doesn't work or
Oh,
it's got-
yeah, just, and coming up with basic guidelines, like if we do, let's just say hypothetically, we do get the gym. And the gym is ours to be able to program, and we have Monday through Friday from this time to this time. Pickleball can only reserve it for 2.5 hours, period. This is the time that they get it, they cannot go beyond, here's your receipt, this is what we confirmed. And then whoever wants it after that, and if there is space available, then we can open that back up,
Mhm.
that time
Mhm.
back up for people to use. But I don't think like having pickleball come in and say, Monday through Friday is ours, or volleyball coming in and saying, we did the 7 to 8 o'clock time. But then having those guidelines, just
Yeah,
write down
right.
explicitly what people and for what period of time each group is allowed to have access to that, see how that goes from there. And then as our JPAs start to come in and as our accessibility starts to come in, then maybe we can open it up to other schools.
Yeah.
Other fields as well.
Yeah, but I can still see what it takes to do it.
Oh, yeah, definitely, I just
Right.
tell you from my experience and me building it from the ground up, it's not as easy as people look at it and think that it is. It does take time, and there are a lot of bugs that we're even ironing out with our simple website.
But that's
It's a
where-
very
Yeah.
simplistic website.
Yeah, that's where starting small scale. So.
Because if we can do it on paper, then we can translate it easily back onto a computer system, but I'd like to see what it looks like going on. The archaic.
I mean, I just selfishly want to see the school district do a better job with their calendaring because I didn't know when prom was until like 2 weeks beforehand, and it's like people need to plan, guys.
Your date's not going.
Yeah, my date. I wish my daughter was interested in a daddy-daughter date. Those days have long passed. Okay.
To our website.
There was the question of spending some incentive money. Came up.
She has that on the survey too, but it's for $100, we spend $50 per winner on our photos.
And I feel like if we look at the budget, we had money specifically for outreach. With the plan. And I think we're still well under whatever that was. Right?
I know this
Where's
is
the
not,
plan?
I was just trying to grab you guys.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
okay. You're supposed to have a section on here too, where you get to bring up things to us.
Yeah,
or
you should, Jenna, on regularly put a.
Matters from
Yeah,
ED.
yeah.
Executive.
Yeah.
Your report.
I thought we had something specifically for the plan. Yeah.
Well, sir.
It's not captured on this, on that Joanne provided, so. Oh, advisory committee support. No, that's different.
Well, sir, look at that, just one thing, I think we already discussed this, if it takes any action, but our budget public hearing, that's what this forum is. It's for, I think we decided the 11th or whatever schedule August meeting, that is it, but. Action. So we turn it to 30 minutes.
So we did it last year, right?
Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
We'll be in the annex by then, so we can run long with if needed.
Yeah, will do.
Yeah, I'm not seeing on this, spread on this thing from Joanne where the plan is. Is that under TVPR projects then? No,
Things that are technical.
technicals? Administration, I'm still not seeing the plan on
Because I don't think it's separated out.
here. Other support.
Isn't under, there's professional support. Professional services.
Okay, so it's in there. I just thought we had a line item for outreach also.
Thing. But it's below. I don't have a problem. So.
Yeah.
Do you have an amount?
I think the $50. Last time, a couple of those.
Okay.
With everything's
250 total,
two.
$250 ones. Okay.
So they'll draw two names essentially from all of the
Great.
submissions where people provide their names. I saw that was the stipulation be entered, you have to provide your email. Be identified as not anonymous.
Great.
I'll let her know.
Hey, any other business?
None for me.
Motion, you're on.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that. Favor?
Aye.